candles are all awfully tiny here. I don't know if you noticed.
These are, it's fine.
I was just.
Believe it or not, you get smaller ones.
Oh my God, that's.
Why
are they all so flat?
Some of them are really flat.
That's okay. I mean,
It's pretty conservative. There's all different kinds too.
I noticed that. Different shapes, different sizes.
Good morning. My name is Megan Fenton, and I'm your worship associate this morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing hymn number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come in your gray hymnal.
This is awkward. Okay. Good morning. My name is Monica, and I am treasurer of the Board of Trustees. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Hudson Valley. Whether you've been with this congregation a decade or more, or this is your first time visiting, we welcome you. Whatever the faith and traditions of your past, we welcome you. Whatever your theological stance, we welcome you. Whoever you are and whomever you love, we welcome you. Whatever your heritage, we welcome you. We respectfully acknowledge the territory on which our church building sits as the ancestral homelands of the Munsee, Lenape, and Wappinger people. We have some announcements. The wreaths that we're hanging in the sanctuary are in the fellowship hall. If you're here today, please take your wreath home with you. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the display, and we thank Joanne Hefner for gracing our sanctuary with her beautiful landscapes for January. Second, our in-person coffee hour after Sunday service has helped us deepen our connections, but we need more hands on deck. The membership committee has decided to reinstitute the hospitality team system that was in place before COVID, where all active members were assigned a team and a month to help make coffee hour as great as it can be. So please be on the lookout in early January for an email refreshing our memories on how the system works. Sherry is available for questions anytime. For the most up-to-date information on these topics and others, please refer to our weekly e-newsletter and check our website frequently. And please join us for conversation after the service. If you're present in the sanctuary, come into the fellowship hall, which is up the stairs. And if you're watching on the live stream, the link for the Zoom coffee hour can be found in the Saturday reminder in your email. If you're just recently joining us and would like to receive our weekly e-news, please email us at uucroton@gmail.com with your name, and we'll make sure you're added to our e-news list. Or you can fill out a yellow card that's in your pews. Please remember to silence your phones at this time, and once again, we welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of the Hudson Valley.
Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. My name is Ann Pearl. I am your worship leader today. Normally, we would have an introduction of our guest speaker, which is obviously me, but most people know who I am, and this is actually my 30th anniversary year in this congregation. For our invocation today, the words are by Bernadette R. Burns. Let us take a moment to relax and catch our breath. Let us bring our focus here to this room, to this group of people, and to this moment. We bring a myriad of talents, ideas, needs, and styles. Yet within this diversity, there is a common bond between us. We love this fellowship, and we are willing to work together to improve and strengthen this community of ours and our lives. Now for our bell ringing today, I would like to invite Chris and Maggie Fenton, and also Maggie's grandmother, Mary. And we ring the bell 8 times, once for each of our principals. Please go ahead and do that.
Today's chalice lighting words are from Rachel Naomi Remen. Hidden in all stories is the one story. The more we listen, the clearer that story becomes. Our true identity, who we are, why we are here, what sustains us, is in this story. Now, please join me in saying our unison affirmation. The words are in your order of service. Inspired by love, our mission is to seek our true nature, connect deeply and openly, and act for justice. Let us now bear witness to the joys and sorrows experienced in our community. If you have a brief yet personally significant joy or sorrow that you are willing to share, please come up to the microphone and speak loudly so that everyone, including the people watching at home, can hear you. If you would prefer to only have a candle lit without speaking, please just stand or let me know, and I will light a candle for you.
Hi, I'm Nora, and my joy is that my daughter-in-law just had a sonogram, and our granddaughter, is 7 pounds right now, so she may be coming sooner than we thought. And everybody is doing well, and we're really excited.
Hello, Happy New Year, everybody. Just a concern, as some of you know, Terry had a knee replacement the Wednesday just before Christmas, and she's making little steps to get better. And then yesterday we had a setback. We had to run to the ER up in Peekskill. She's home, she's fine, but there was a complication with clotting, and she's just bummed about it. So send her your good thoughts if you can, please. Thank you, and Happy New Year, everybody.
I got here just in time for my favorite part. Hello, everybody. It's been a while since I've been here. Happy New Year. The last month has been a lot of turmoil, but I'm okay, Sarah's okay, and I am officially retiring because I can't see the road to drive anymore, and my car reflects that.
We also acknowledge all the unspoken joys and sorrows held within the silence of our hearts, and for all those who have yet to find a spiritual home where they can share their joys and sorrows.
Our meditation today is by Julianne Lepp. We have not forgotten, in nature we seek you. In the whisper of wind, in the new green wood, your presence is near. We have not lost hope. In the dust of the desert, in the rush of the wave, in the rise of the mountain, your presence is near. We remember the cycle, in the promise of blossoms, in the dying leaves, in the bare branches, your presence is near. Please join me now in a moment of silence. Our next hymn is My Life Flows On, an Endless Song, number 108 in your great hymnal. You may remain seated.
Are you
All right, this is the fun part. So, some of you might remember this service from years past. It was a yearly favorite for quite some time, and so I'm happy to bring it back again, and I hope some of you will participate. So, basically, we like to just kind of share some holiday memories from our pasts. I can kind of start the ball rolling here. I have quite a few, so it was hard to choose. But one of my favorites is my oldest son, Danny, was born on November 7th, 1986. But that's not the important part. So November 7th, which was just, as you know, a few weeks before Christmas. So I was bound and determined to get a picture with Santa. And as any of you who are moms and dads out there, particularly with your first child, might recall, it takes a really long time to get out of the house with an infant. And I was definitely not good at it yet. I had barely been out of the house. He was only this was about maybe a week or so before Christmas, so he was like, what, maybe 5 weeks old, 4 or 5 weeks old. And, but I was determined. And so I had his little outfit, we did all the things, I packed the bag, however long that took. And we're finally ready to go, and it's starting to snow. And I'm like, it's just starting to snow. We're just gonna run to the mall, we're gonna get that quick picture, and back home we'll go. Well, you can see where this is going, right? So we, get in the car, all bundled up, get to the mall, and of course that's a whole rigmarole as well to, get him out of the, and it wasn't, by the way, in 1986, things were not as easy as they are now. You could not just take your car seat and put it into your stroller and off you go. No, you had to take the sleeping baby out of the car seat and then put it into a gigantic stroller that took forever to open up and then get it into the mall, right? So finally did that. Obviously it's starting to snow a little harder, but I'm like, yeah, we're here now. I'm not turning around. I did all this, we're here now. So we get to Santa. Wasn't, fortunately, much of a line. I think other people had maybe paid more attention to the weather forecast than I had. And it was a weekday, so it wasn't too bad. So we did the thing. We, get him in there because, by the way, Santa's a little afraid right now. I don't think he had ever held a baby that small. So I'm like, no, it's okay, I'm right here, don't worry, everything is fine, he's very good, it's fine. And he was asleep anyway, so stick him in Santa's lap, I'm very close by, get the photo. I'm like, you know what, I'm here in the mall. Yeah, the kid's being good. I'm just gonna go to one store. Just one store. Get one quick thing, right? So, back in the stroller, we go to the store, I get the thing that I want to get, whatever that was. All right, we better head home. Get to the mall entrance. Of course, in the mall, I'm like not, seeing anything. Get to the mall entrance, like, oh no. There is like, without exaggeration, there was what seemed like close to a foot of snow on the ground. I don't think it was quite that much, but it was a lot. It was a lot of snow, and obviously nobody is plowing anything, cleaning anything, whatever. Back then, I just had a front-wheel drive car. That was soon rectified, but at the time, that's what I had. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it normally takes me about 10 minutes to get home from the Jefferson Valley Mall. As you might imagine, it took a little longer. We get to this one hill, which I couldn't avoid. I'm trying to figure out like the safest way to get home, which was a slightly longer way, but okay, staying on Route 6. So there's a hill at the intersection of Route 6 and Lexington Avenue, and it's all right, well, let's hope for the best. I started sliding down that hill. Nothing was, obviously, I'm sliding down the hill. I have no control over this car. I'm just praying that everybody kind of stays out of my way. finally, I finally, the car was side, whatever, finally fixed the car, managed to get home finally after what seemed like hours, and, get the kid in, put the kid down, relax, not with a glass of wine, which I nowadays would have done, but back then, I'm a first-time mother, I'm nursing this baby, I'm like, oh, no, 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 you're not supposed to drink anything. So I basically just cried. So, and never went out in snow again. So, but thank goodness, everybody was fine. I got my Santa picture, which I still have to this day. So, that's my memory. Who'd like to go next? Oh, and you can use this microphone.
Okay, I'll go next. I have another snow story. It's not as funny as Anne's. Not as funny as Anne's. But it was one Christmas when my daughter was little, maybe first, second grade. And Christmas Eve, the way we do things in my family is Christmas Eve, we go to my side of the family at night, give out presents. And then Christmas Day, Jim's parents would come to our house, or we would go there and, celebrate Christmas. I think at that point we were still going down to their house, which is also in New Jersey. But the two family houses actually aren't that far apart. It's about 15 minutes. Forecast was there was going to be some snow on Christmas. And so I said, maybe we want to, stay overnight, at your parents' house with Maggie, rather than going home and then coming back down again. No. Jim's like, I want to sleep in my own bed. Okay. So we go home. It was okay on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning, it was snowing and snowing and snowing and snowing. And at the time I was Catholic, and as a Catholic you have to go to Mass on Christmas morning. And so I did, and I'm coming home from Mass, and there are very few cars on the road, and the snow is fortunately it wasn't a long drive, but I'm thinking, I don't really want to go out again. So we called my in-laws, and they weren't really thrilled with the idea of schlepping up to visit us or having us schlep down to visit them. So we said, okay, we'll put this off. So that Christmas Day, we spent, just the three of us. We played with our new toys. We watched our new movies. The beautiful big dinner that I was going to make for my in-laws, I didn't. We had something nice. That night, my entire neighborhood, everybody came out and was digging out of the snowstorm because it had stopped by then. My husband had a snowblower, and one of our neighbors down the street had a snowblower, and people had all their Christmas lights on, and my husband and our neighbor were just going up and down the street, blowing the sidewalks clean. And it was probably the nicest Christmas I have ever had.
So I've had lots and lots of kind of very nice, pleasant, not particularly memorable holiday seasons. And I feel like the firsts are the ones that always stick out. And the two that come to mind are the first time that Megan and I had Thanksgiving together when we were 20 and sophomores in college. And Megan had come out to my apartment in Los Angeles, and the first thing she had asked for when we were getting ready to start doing our Thanksgiving preparations was where our cleaning supplies were for the kitchen. And I had thought about it and said, well, I think we have a bar of soap in the bathroom. And and we had a friend over who was also in town that hadn't gone to visit their family for Thanksgiving. We were determined to make our own Thanksgiving feast. So we'd gotten the stuffing and a turkey and a bunch of canned corn. And we had decided that we had to make mashed potatoes, and we had no idea how to actually make mashed potatoes. So we had decided that, well, we'll just use the blender, and we'll just feed potatoes into it, which lit our blender on fire. And through all of it, we managed to have a very nice, pleasant, memorable Thanksgiving together. And it shows that it doesn't have to be perfect. And the next one was, I think, the first Christmas that we had where we kind of hosted This was the first year we had moved up to the suburbs. We were renting we hadn't really realized it yet because we'd been there for about 2 weeks, but we were renting a mostly slowly collapsing house in Hastings-on-Hudson. We had gotten bed bugs in our apartment like a month before we had moved up to the suburbs, so we had strategically decided to just throw out all of our furniture. So we literally had no furniture, and my family had decided that now was a great time to come visit. And don't worry, many assurances, you don't need to accommodate us. So we literally, I think we owned 2 chairs and a carpet and an air mattress that we were sleeping on. And my sister, brother-in-law, and mom had all come to visit for Christmas. My mom and brother were sleeping in our unheated attic in December. I think we'd gone out to Walmart and gotten air mattresses for everyone. We literally just sat on the floor because we didn't have furniture. And then the toilet promptly clogged on the second day. They were all there, I think. So we didn't have running water, so we had to go to the public library. The sewer line had clogged, so we had to go. We couldn't use the running water, so we had to go to the library. It was everyone had a great time. It's a very memorable Christmas, but that was our first hosting Christmas. All right.
Just a quickie. If this is your 30th anniversary year,
Yes.
that means you started in '93.
Yes.
Well, I started in '86, and it seems to me you were here at the time.
I wasn't, but thank you for thinking I was. I was here in spirit, Al. So, by the way, for those of you that want to speak, which you're more than welcome to, it would be great if you could, and I'm not doing it either, it would be great if you could come up and use the microphone, and you can use either one, because then the people at home can hear you as well. Did you want to come up? Come on up.
There is no snow in this Christmas memory. My youngest brother, I have 4 younger brothers growing up. My youngest brother, Ken, was 3 at the time. And my dad had passed a couple of years before. So, and there are 6 of us, 6 children, and then my mom. So there were 7 of us that really were still a little bit in shock and mourning. And it came to be Christmas time, and when my dad was around, he always got one of those small Christmas trees that had the root ball attached, and then we would plant it, at least one of them, because it's huge now, the last time I saw it. So Kenny decided he really wanted to put up a tree, which we had not done for the last couple of years, and he wanted to decorate it. And nobody felt like doing it. Nobody wanted to celebrate. Nobody wanted to put the tree up. But he was so excited about doing it. So my brother Brian and I went down in the basement, brought up the tree. We had an artificial one by then, a good-sized tree. And we put all the ornaments out, and we said, anybody wants to do anything to the tree, have at it. So we set it up so that at least Ken could decorate the tree. He was the only one at the beginning, New Year, on Christmas Eve, and this tree was only decorated from as high as he could reach to the bottom, all the way around. And then some of us relented and said, so we put ours at the very top, since we were taught just a few. That is my absolute favorite Christmas tree and memory ever. He was so happy.
Okay, it's not really a specific story. It's something we did every year until my brothers went to college. So my parents, I lived in Washington State. We lived in a small town. And every year we would pile into the station wagon. So it was my dad, who was 6'3", John was 6'5", my brother Mike 6, the three girls were smaller, and our Cocker Spaniel, Snooky. So I always got to sit in the back, in the station wagon. You get the worst part. So, but I got to sit with the dog. So we would go out to the Christmas tree farm, and it seemed like forever to me. It probably was 40 minutes, but our hometown, it took us 5 minutes to go anywhere. So 40 minutes was a long time. So we would tromp through the woods, and we'd keep walking over hill, over dale. Dad would pick these really little ones, and like, no. And then Mom would go and like, oh, let's get that one, and be a really tall, no, that's too big. And we'd finally get one, chop it down, and bring it home, and we sang Christmas carols and everything, and it was fun. And then I didn't realize till I was an adult that they were just goofing, because we had very short ceilings. They were not much bigger than my dad. So we probably could have found a tree in the first, 10 feet. So that was fun. And then the year we couldn't go anymore because my parents' store was open 7 days a week and 6 evenings, and my brothers were in school, just me. So Mom told the owner of the tree farm, who, we knew, she said she wanted a really bushy tree, so she wanted a bushy one. So he came and he brought us one. It wasn't really tall. It was straight on the top, and then it was just like, it looked like a Nazi helmet. So it was the funniest looking Christmas tree, and he didn't do that to us again, but we thought that was pretty funny. And I just love thinking about those times.
The worship committee is wearing their uniforms today. We're all wearing the same color. Happy New Year, everybody. When my children were little, they are now, I can't believe this, 50 and 47. We lived in White Plains, and we lived in a fourth floor elevator apartment. And we loved our Christmases, and we had real Christmas trees, but the hard part was taking it down. The girls never wanted to take it down. And they were about probably 11 and 7. And they're saying, I don't want to take it down, I don't want to take it down. And I'm saying to myself, I don't want to take it down because we were on the 4th floor, the furthest apartment from the elevator. So, it's one thing to carry it in when it's clean and not falling apart. It's worse to do it the other way. And so, we got all the ornaments off and whatever, and I look out my dining room window, and I said, wow, I'm over the parking lane, and I send the girls downstairs, and they're old enough, and I said, each of you on either side of the parking area so that you're not close to it, and yell all clear. And I picked up the tree, and they were always good-sized trees, and I did it trunk side down, and it was like a little sort of umbrella. It opened sort of like this as it went up. Didn't hit anybody. Made my neighbor laugh so hard that it became a tradition. So, and then just another quick one. My grandfather had a wonderful Lionel train set. Beautiful. If you've seen them and you love them, they were beautiful. He would set it up under the tree. Big house, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, big house, and big tree. And he made a paper mache mountain so that, and the train would go through the mountain, and he would put down a mirror, and that would become the ice pond. And so there were all these little, figurines all the way around. And my mother would take pipe cleaners and make figurines of us. And she would cut out our faces from old pictures. And we would either be skiing or skating or riding or running the train. So our Christmas Eve was to find ourselves in the Christmas village. So, yeah, wonderful.
Would anyone else like to come up and share a memory, a holiday memory? Oh, thank you. I should have said earlier that you should all introduce yourselves. So far we've had, we just had Nanette, we've had Pat, we've had Nora, we've had Chris, we've had Susie. Oh yeah, right. And this is Mary, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
I am Mary, and I'm Megan's mother. When I was in high school, my parents had proposed to the family that instead of having our traditional Christmas where we'd all open gifts and, you know, Santa came and all of that, my father proposed that we take a lovely vacation, and that would be our Christmas. There would be no Christmas presents to open, but that would be our Christmas. So we had, my dad made arrangements, and we went to St. Croix for probably about 6 years, every year for Christmas and through New Year's then. It was really quite nice. And the best part of the vacation was on Christmas Day, my mother would pack a lunch in a cooler, and we would go to the beach. And we would spend Christmas Day on the beach with our packed lunch, just enjoying the sun, the sand, and everything that there was to enjoy there. I also have to relate another little story that we had a couple of years later. On New Year's Eve, we had gone to we always rented a house there, and we had gone to one of the resorts and had a Christmas Eve celebration there. Earlier that year, I have to say, we had a fire in our house long about May, okay? Long story, my sister had a dress that had survived the fire and dress, you know, it was washed and everything, and it was ready to go for New Year's Eve, so she wore this dress to New Year's Eve. My brother's friend from college, and he is still his best friend, went with us that year. Well, we were all coming back at different times from this party, and my sister Kathy and John and Dean had hitched a ride with another family that was going their way. As Kathy is getting into the car, her dress that had been in the fire is starting to fall apart. You know, it's the strap that comes loose because, you know, the smoke and the fire had, you know, lost the integrity of the stitching. By the time she got back to our house, she is literally holding this dress on. We got a great laugh out of it. She did not think it was very funny, but we still talk about the dress that fell apart on the way home from the New Year's Eve party. It was quite fun.
Wow. These have been wonderful. Anybody else that would like to share a story? Or a memory, I should say? And we're running the gamut on the holidays. I mean, you know, you can, Valentine's Day, I mean, St. Patrick's Day, you name it, it's all good. I'm actually just going to say one more quick one myself. Okay. This is around 2007 or 8-ish, and back then, we always did Christmas at our house, but it was just my immediate family. So by that time, my parents, I think my father might have even had passed away by then. My mom was in a nursing home, and because we used to always go to their house, not only because of Christmas, but also because that was also my dad's birthday. Anyway, so for many years, for a number of years, we'd been doing it at our house, and all my boys were home. I'm pretty sure at least two, I think two of them were in college by then, and my youngest was in high school. And we had, lots of fun. We would play games, watch movies, the usual kind of stuff. We would always come here. We would come here for Christmas Eve. I would force them to come also. We'd go out for Mexican food on Christmas Eve, the place right down the road. And Christmas Day we would spend at home, and my husband would cook. And he's a pretty good cook. And he enjoys doing it. So my husband had, at that time, just a few months prior, had Lyme's disease. And unfortunately, his Lyme's disease didn't just come and go. It lasted for quite a long time, and and he was having a really tough time, just in general, mostly. Not so much physically, but more mentally. It kind of affected him more neurologically than anything else. So we were in the process of trying to get that under control, trying to understand this type of Lyme disease that was chronic, the chronic form, which a lot of doctors weren't really acknowledging yet back then. Anyway, but he was happy and in a good mood because everybody was there and he was cooking. And dinner, we're a loud family. Who knows what we were doing, just, yelling at each other and stuff. And then my dinner was like almost ready, almost. And all of a sudden, all the power went out. Just all went out. And we're like, oh no, what do we do now? Well, fortunately, we have a wood-burning stove. So my husband and the boys went out, got the wood, started the fire, and my husband finished cooking on the stove a turkey. Finished cooking the turkey on the stove. It was fine. It came out great. It was fully cooked. Everything was fully cooked. And everything was, not everything was necessarily hot, but everything was delicious. And we just lit candles everywhere and just played games the rest of the night, because that's, what are you gonna do? And there's no TV, there's no music, there's no anything else. So we ate and we played games all night, and then that for a few more years after that, until they started having their significant others and whatnot, and things changed. And we thankfully added more people to the family, but it became, different. We did that for at least a couple more years, where even though we still had all our power, he didn't cook the food on the wood-burning stove. He cooked it in the regular stove and oven. But we did continue the game playing on Christmas Day as a tradition for a while. And even to this day, even though now we go up to my son's house in Massachusetts, that is a thing that we do now actually on Christmas Eve after his children are asleep, when we have Pearl Family Christmas, the weekend before Christmas now, we play some games. So that's a fond memory as well. Anyone else? Okay. And thankfully, my husband is much healthier now. Alrighty, so let us now please rise in body or spirit, and please join me in singing an old favorite, number 123, Spirit of Life. It's in your gray hymnal. If you need to see the words, right.
Each week, we make an offering from the bounty we are blessed to enjoy. We do this in the spirit of love and generosity, aware that we have benefited from those who have gone before, those who in their turn gave generously. Our offering goes to support the work of love and justice undertaken by this community. Today's offering will also be shared with PrideWorks. PrideWorks' mission is to inform communities about the realities of growing up gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender, and to inspire them to respect and support LGBTQ people and to advocate for positive change. Please refer to our e-newsletter or website for more information. You can make your donation in several ways. If present in the sanctuary, you may give cash or check in the offering plate as it comes by. You may also scan the QR code in your order of service. From your homes, you can make your donation via credit card or PayPal using the links provided in the e-newsletter. Please remember to give a little extra to compensate for the 3% surcharge. Or if you prefer, you can always mail us a check. The offering will now be given and gratefully received. Please join me in the dedication of the offering. The words are in your order of service. May these gifts and the work of our hands and hearts give power to all we stand for as a community of faith. Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. The words are found in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our benediction today is by Barbara Peskin. Because of those who came before, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizons of their vision, we too dream. Thank you so much for joining us today. Before we close and listen to the prelude, I just want to say you were right about the candles, Nora. I apologize for that. They're still there, you just can't see them. Thank you again. Happy New Year. Please join us after the prelude for more fellowship and coffee upstairs. Go in peace.